So this morning I'm doing another little test. You may remember from episode 3, I did a test. It was the nearly optimum speed real life test, and Astro here did very well. We got 120 miles out of one charge. Got back home, was at 0, but wasn't in turtle mode or anything. And now I'm kind of doing the opposite test, where I'm going to see how few miles you can get out of a charge by driving it essentially as fast as possible. So I've planned out a route that takes me through all the fastest roads around here. And it's a 58-mile loop that basically takes me on speeds ranging from 55 to 70 miles an hour. Okay, so here we are, going at a pretty good clip. It may not seem like it from the video, but we're doing 60. The speed limit here is 60. I've actually got the cruise control on, doing between 60 and 61. And I'm actually a little anxious about this test. I never really suffer from range anxiety, but I guess I was trying to think of why I'm a little anxious, and I think it's because I'm doing something that I've never done before. I've never done an all-highway trip involving these many miles. I'm really pushing the car. I've got the AC on. So pushing the car, by all measures, I guess, because I'm using, I guess quite a bit of electricity for more than just pushing the car. Let's see, we've got climate control is it's actually not drawing a whole lot, as much as I thought. I guess it's looking like maybe 0.25 and another 0.25 for other systems, and it's not too bad. But the motor's drawing about 20 kilowatts, 17 to 20. So we'll see, but hopefully it'll work out great. Oh, so I guess we're 15 minutes into this. So let's see, battery's at 86%. The temperature outside is 78. We've done 9 miles so far. Average speed's 28.8 miles per hour. Of course, I'm doing 60, but I had to get to the highway from the house. So I imagine this average will be going up considerably. Economy is 3.7, so pretty bad, but still not the 3.2 that the EPA says the car does, so that's good. And I have not even made one tree yet. Okay, so I'm just pulled over here at a rest stop, about a third of the way through the test. Just to give you an update on some of the numbers here. So, like I said, we're about a third of the way through. We've done 20.9 miles. 72% of the battery's been used. The estimated range is 70 miles. It's 80 degrees, so it's gone up just slightly. We've made one tree exactly. Energy economy average is 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, so very bad in relation to what the car usually does, which is between 4.9 and say 5.2. And the average speed has been 37.9 miles per hour, so kind of expected it to be a little higher than that, but that's what it is. So we're going to continue now, going from a road that was, we were on a road that was 55, then I went on a road that was 60 miles an hour, and then I'm getting on a road now that's 70 miles an hour. Then the last stretch home is on another road that has a limit of 60 miles an hour. Okay, so we're heading down the highway here, actually at a pretty good clip. I'll tell you, the car's having no trouble at all with this. It really flies with no issue. Pretty impressive. Never headed up to these speeds. Okay, so just completed the 70 mile an hour stretch. This thing did very well. Accelerates beautifully. I don't think I've ever been on Route 10 with this, which means I've never been on a 70 mile an hour road. Before I knew it, I was going pretty fast. It's very deceiving. It did consume a lot. Let's see, we did increase our average speed to 40.7. And the range is now 41, which I think I've got about 30 miles to go. We've done 34 miles. Average economy is 3.5, temperatures 79 outside, battery consumption is 51%, so that's interesting. We haven't even been through 51% of the battery, but our range is 41, which to me indicates that it basically adjusted the range to the to the driving that I'm doing rather than to the driving that I was doing prior to starting this morning, if that makes any sense. Just sitting at a light here. Interestingly, it's bringing down my average speed as I'm sitting at the light. So I guess it counts stops as well. I'm now back down to 39.9 miles per hour. That's interesting. So I guess as long as the car's on it, look, it just went down to 39.5 miles per hour. So this explains why on the other test, the average speed seemed to be so much lower than what I felt I did. It's because every time you stop at a stop sign or a red light, or you stop because of traffic, the average speed goes down, I suppose, as long as the car is on. Okay, so 1 hour into the test.
Keep to the left.
And got a range of 26 miles. And we've made exactly 2 trees. I think that's the fewest trees I've ever made for the percentage of battery used. Got a range 26 miles. Average speed 42 miles an hour. Really, this average speed calculation in this car, I find it probably the most dubious thing of all the data it provides. Average energy economy 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, so we seem to slowly be approximating the EPA's 3.2. Makes you wonder how they were driving the car to come up with that. I've got 27% of the battery left. So, interesting. I think I'm going to extend the test a little bit since I'm probably about 2 miles from home or so, and I still have a 21-mile range. So I'm going to get on another highway here. That's going to just getting off a highway that was 65 and getting on one that's 55. So the low battery warning just came on, and I'm experiencing something that I don't recall ever experiencing except when I picked up the car, which is the range. Estimated range is lower than the battery percentage. So the battery percentage was 16, it just dropped to 15. And the range just dropped from 14 to 13 miles. So don't really see that. I guess it takes driving pretty aggressively and pretty much just on high-speed roads and with the AC on to make this happen, because it's barely, even so, the number of the estimated range is just barely below the battery percentage. So right now the battery percentage has dropped to 14 and range is 13. Always surprised that most if not all of the YouTube videos that I see where I have the opportunity about Nissan Leafs.
Continue on the current route.
Where I have the opportunity to check this on the vehicle because they filmed it. Almost invariably, the range in those cars is lower than the battery percentage. And actually, right now, I guess because I'm doing 59 miles an hour, though the car just doesn't feel it. My mileage range is 13 miles, and my battery percentage is 13%. Okay. So an hour and 15 minutes into
Continue
the test.
on the current route.
And I've already basically done the loop that I wanted to do. I'm just driving extra now to see how much of a range I can get out of the battery. I'm driving it pretty much strictly at high speeds. So where are we? Battery's at 12%, range is at 12. I've made about a little over 2 trees. Temperature 79. We've done 60.7 miles. Average speed 45.2 miles per hour. So I'm going to try to figure the average speed manually, I think, to see, basically see how long the test took and the number of miles that I went during that time, possibly extracting that time that I stopped at the rest area, see if I can get a truer number of truer average speed. Energy economy average 3.5. Okay, so just got the very, very low battery charge warning indicator, which must mean that we are at 8%. Sure enough, actually just jumped to 7%. And it's no longer giving me a range, so I've got the dashes instead of a range. We've done 64.4 miles. Okay, so I've got the dashes now. I think you get the dashes instead of the battery percentage at about 4%. I've got the dashes. I've got dashes for everything, for battery percentage and for range. About 2 miles or so from home. 68.2 miles is what we've done. Made 2.5 trees. Okay. Just reached my street. just a few tenths of a mile from home. 71.3 miles. And no total mode yet, so it's good. Just wanted to do a quick wrap up of the video, put some numbers together, similar to what I had done for the other test. So the car, go over a couple of these numbers. So I had the AC on continuously this time, no headlights, it was during the day. Average speed, the car reported 44.4 miles per hour, but it was higher than that. I noticed that the car, as long as the car's turned on, it's averaging the speed. So if I'm sitting at a red light for 2 or 3 minutes, for example, that's averaging in and constantly lowering the average speed. So I tried to calculate the average speed based on the number of miles and the amount of time elapsed. That came to 51.2 miles per hour. I suspect it was even higher than that, average-wise, but that's because of stops. But anyway, that's what it came out at. I tried to I deducted about 5 minutes altogether from the overall time. About 2 minutes for a long red light, and about 3 minutes for that stop at the rest area. What else do we have? So temperature was pretty constant between 77 and 80. Average miles per kilowatt hour were between 3.4 and 3.9, so not the 3.2 that the EPA gives the car, but nevertheless very low compared to what we usually get, what my experience usually is. So we've got 3 bars here. We've got the estimated range that the car gives, and basically the test ran from 9:30 in the morning to about 10 o'clock. So that's what the estimated range was along that time. The light blue line is the battery percentage remaining as indicated by the vehicle, and then this darker blue line are the number of miles traveled per the odometer. Down here, the green line is the number of trees. I think we ended up making 2.5 trees, if I recall. I think an interesting thing with this as compared to the previous test is that on the previous test the estimated range always remained higher as a number than the battery percentage as a percentage. So for instance, if the range was if the battery percentage was 50%, the range was something higher than that. I think when the battery percentage was 50%, the range was somewhere around 70 something. It's interesting to note that over here the test started out the same way, but then the lines crossed and then they came together again. Now this area right here, I went through most of the travel was between 55 and 70 miles per hour. Some was 60 miles per hour, some was 65. I had a stretch right around the middle that was 70 miles per hour. Sometimes it was a little over 70. And that seems to be the switching point where the efficiency of the car degrades quite a bit, because 100% of the battery then no longer means at least 100 miles. So I thought that was interesting. And so the car ended up doing approximately, I forget exactly, but I think I mentioned it just a few minutes ago, 72 miles, I think. And got home at with all the counters on dash, so the percentage and the mileage estimation were dashes, but it wasn't in turtle mode, so it still had some amount of battery, obviously. So that's it. I think it's a really interesting test. I think it shows that even if you work it pretty hard with the AC and going at higher speeds, you're still probably going to get at least 70 some miles. Of course, someone else's experience in a different part of the world where it's a little cooler, and maybe the car is not as new, that experience may change. But this is what it was for me. So thanks, and don't forget to follow if you'd like to see the next video, and let me know if there are any questions, any comments, anything that I can help answer, as someone who owns one of these. Thanks. Bye.